What's up, guys, and welcome to the Shaw of Pride normal raid guide. As with all my normal raid guides, the abilities will be scrolling above my head, so if you want to pause and take a look at those, or if you just want to watch all the way through and then go back and take a look again, feel free to do that and see how we handle different mechanics. But the biggest thing in this fight is personal responsibility. This is going to be one of those fights where everybody's in charge of not killing everyone else. The reason I say that is because you will have a pride bar at the top of your screen, and this goes from 0 to 100. Now, it doesn't do anything until you get to 25. Once you get to 25, 50, and 75, it then does different abilities. If you get to 100, you get mind controlled, GG, think of Cho'Gall. Okay, so at 25, if you get targeted with bursting pride, you just need to make sure that you move out 5 yards so that you don't hit anyone else, because it'll drop a pool on you. You just need to make sure that you're not in the pool, and then you can come back and group up with the group. If you are at 20, or if you're at 50 pride and above, what's going to happen then is you can get projection. Now this is up to 15 yards away, but there'll be a little arrow, and you need to make sure that if you get targeted by that, you go stand in that place. Because if you have 6 seconds to get there, if you don't get there, what happens is it does 250k damage to the entire raid, and healing in this fight does get intensive. So you need to understand that you need to make sure that you understand where your pride's at, how much pride you have, and understand that you can't be doing more damage to the raid. Also, if you don't do these mechanics, it adds pride to the other players as well, so their pride bar goes up. Well, now you have a bunch of people doing a lot of mechanics personally so that you can recover. This just leads to more and more mistakes. If you just if you just keep your pride under control, you're going to have a lot better time in this fight. The other two main things that you need to understand about this fight is Gift of the Titans. Okay, how this works is 5 random players will get this buff. Okay, when they all get close enough together, it then gives you a 15% increase to damage and healing. So you want to stack up, and then once the Gift of the Titans goes off, you just move out of the puddles on the ground, move to the right, wait till they explode, and then stack back up. You can do that, and then you get this huge damage buff for your entire raid, and you really do need the damage. This is one of those fights where it's you versus the boss type, you know, who's going to kill who quickest. So you need to understand how that works. The other important aspect of this fight is prisons. So you're going to have to make sure that you have groups set up with a backup for each group in case somebody gets prisoned. That group has a backup person. Also, you may need to fill in. It's possible that 2 people from the same group could get imprisoned, and then one prison doesn't get broken out. As you'll see later in the fight, I actually go down to this because there just wasn't enough people to break me out quick enough, and thinking on the fly. And that's one of the biggest things that you need to do in this fight, is think on the fly, because the damage is too much for healers. It is a ton of damage coming out in this phase, especially if you keep the prison people in prison too long. If you can get them out quick, as soon as you're out, if you do get prisoned, you know, pop that health stone, pop a personal to help keep yourself alive while you get back to the stacking point, as there is a lot of damage coming out. Also, you will have to deal with 2 big adds. They can be silenced, they can be stunned, they can be gripped, and they spawn from the sides of the room. So you pretty much have a couple people in charge of silencing those, getting them to come in, and then having them gripped in, or however you can get them in there, and then you just burn them down, and then you get back on the boss. That's extremely important too. Understand that as those adds die, they will add pride to your bar, and that's okay. But you need to understand, you know, where you're at with your pride bar. That's your biggest thing. As soon as you get down to about 30%, you just burn them, and you still do the mechanics. You still have to do everything else, but you know, at that point, it's a burn phase, and it's just you versus the boss. So what you need to really understand about this fight is make sure you have your prison groups set up. Make sure you understand how each of the prison platforms work, where you have to have 1 person in each light in order to break that person out. You also need to understand that your pride bar is your own personal set of, of stuff that you have to worry about. And then understanding Gift of the Titans and making sure that you're optimizing your damage when that buff is available for you, so that you can really tunnel some damage into the boss. Those are the biggest things though, guys, and if you can do all that stuff, you can take this fight down. Hope you enjoyed this one, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.